The animal world, the origin of life and great mysteries. Billions of years ago, when Earth was still a burning, chaotic sphere, life began in its simplest form. There were no roars, no claws, no wings in the sky. Only fragile chemical reactions taking place in the primordial oceans. Yet from those delicate beginnings, the magnificent animal world we know today slowly emerged. Animals are not merely creatures that can move. They're the heartbeat of the planet, the invisible thread that keeps nature in balance. Every species, from the tiniest insect to the massive blue whale, holds an irreplaceable role in the vast ecological tapestry of Earth. What are animals? Animals are multicellular organisms capable of movement and responding to their surroundings. But this dry scientific definition fails to capture their true wonder. Animals can feel love, pain, fear, and in many cases, they are capable of sacrifice. A mother bird may pretend to be injured to lure predators away from her nest. A wolf may go hungry to allow its cubs to eat first. These behaviors are not random acts. They are instincts forged through millions of years of evolution. The miracle of evolution. Over immense spans of time, animals evolved into countless forms. From creatures dwelling in the darkest depths of the oceans to rulers of the open sky. Every evolutionary step was a battle for survival. Bird wings were not originally designed for flight. They evolved from forelimbs that once helped their ancestors run faster. Fish fins began as simple structures for balance. Every physical trait found in animals today carries within it a long story of adaptation and survival. The role of animals in nature. Without animals, the natural world would quickly fall into chaos. Herbivores regulate plant growth. Carnivores prevent prey populations from exploding. Insects pollinate plants, allowing forests and crops to flourish. An ecosystem is like a finely crafted clock. Remove a single gear, and the entire mechanism can stop. The relationship between humans and animals. Humans were once an inseparable part of the wild. We hunted to survive and observed animals to learn how to live. But as civilization advanced, humans gradually placed themselves above nature, and sometimes forgot that we still depend on it. Today, many animal species exist only in books or protected reserves. The line between being a guardian and a destroyer can be as thin as a single decision. Why does the animal world fascinate us? Because in the eyes of animals, we see reflections of ourselves, our primal instincts, our fear of extinction, and our desire to survive. They remind us that no matter how advanced technology becomes, we are still a part of nature. The animal world is not just the story of wildlife. It is the story of life itself, of evolution, and of the future of our planet. The kingdoms of the wild. If part one was the story of how life began, then part two is the story of where life chose to thrive. Across Earth's surface, nature has shaped vastly different environments, each one demanding unique strategies for survival. From dense jungles to endless oceans, from burning deserts to frozen wastelands, animals have carved out kingdoms of their own. These are not peaceful realms. Every habitat is governed by invisible laws, rules written in hunger, fear, adaptation, and time. Only those who learn to obey these
The
laws
ancient
survive.
horseshoe
The
crab, a
rainforests,
living
the
fossil,
green empires
meticulously
of life.
combs the
Rainforests
seabed
cover
for
less than
sustenance,
7% of
undisturbed
Earth's
for
land
millions
surface.
of years.
Yet they're home to more than half of all known animal species. Life here is abundant, loud, colorful, and relentless. Sunlight barely reaches the forest floor. Most of the action happens high above, in the canopy, a tangled world of branches, vines, and leaves. Here, animals must move vertically, not horizontally. Monkeys leap between trees, birds glide through narrow gaps, and insects camouflage themselves as leaves, twigs, or even bird droppings. In the rainforest, survival depends on speed, stealth, and awareness. A moment of distraction can mean death. Predators like big cats rely on silence and patience, while prey animals evolve sharp senses and lightning-fast reflexes. Yet despite its richness, the rainforest is fragile. Remove one species, and the balance begins to crumble. The disappearance of a single pollinator can affect entire plant populations, which in turn impacts countless animals that depend on it. The savanna, where strength meets strategy. Unlike the dense forests, the savanna is open and exposed. Grasslands stretch to the horizon, broken only by scattered trees and distant hills. Here, there is nowhere to hide. This openness has shaped some of the most iconic animals on Earth. Speed is everything. Herd animals rely on numbers and constant movement, while predators depend on teamwork and precise timing. Life on the savanna revolves around cycles. Wet seasons bring abundance. Dry seasons bring desperation. During droughts, rivers shrink, grass withers, and competition intensifies. Animals must migrate, adapt, or perish. In this land, dominance is temporary. Today's ruler may become tomorrow's prey. Strength alone is not enough. Intelligence, cooperation, and endurance decide who survives. The oceans, the largest kingdom on Earth, covering more than 70% of the planet. The oceans form the largest and least explored animal kingdom. Beneath the waves lies a world more alien than outer space. Light fades quickly as depth increases. Near the surface, life flourishes. Schools of fish, coral reefs, and complex food webs. But deeper down, darkness rules. Here, animals create their own light, using bioluminescence to attract prey, confuse predators, or communicate. In the ocean, size can mean power or vulnerability. Giant animals require enormous amounts of food, while smaller creatures survive by remaining unnoticed. Some species travel thousands of kilometers each year. Guided by instinct, science still struggles to fully explain. The ocean teaches a harsh lesson. Even the most powerful creatures are at the mercy of their environment. Changes in temperature, pollution, or overfishing can collapse entire ecosystems faster than they can recover. The desert's survival against all odds. Deserts appear lifeless at first glance. Endless sand, extreme heat by day, freezing cold by night. Water is scarce, shade is rare, and mistakes are unforgiving. Yet deserts are far from empty. Life here has mastered efficiency. Animals minimize movement, conserve water, and adapt their bodies to extreme conditions. Many are nocturnal, emerging only when the sun sets and temperatures drop. Every adaptation in the desert has a cost. Larger ears help release heat, but increase exposure. Light-colored fur reflects sunlight, but offers less camouflage at night. Survival is a delicate balance between benefits and risks. In the desert, patience is often the greatest weapon. Animals wait for rain, for prey, for the right moment to act. The frozen worlds, life at the edge of existence. At the planet's poles and high mountain ranges, life exists at the edge of possibility. Temperatures plunge far below freezing. Food is scarce, and darkness can last for months. Here, animals must fight not only hunger, but cold itself. Thick fur, layers of fat, and specialized blood circulation systems allow some species to endure conditions that would kill most living beings within minutes. Survival in frozen worlds often depends on cooperation. Group living provides warmth, protection, and shared effort in hunting. Isolation, in contrast, can be fatal. Despite their harshness, these environments are finely tuned systems. Even small changes in temperature can disrupt food chains, affecting animals that have no room left to adapt. The law of the food chain. Across all environments, one rule remains universal. Energy flows upward. Plants capture sunlight. Herbivores consume plants. Carnivores consume herbivores. Decomposers return nutrients to the soil. This chain is not about cruelty, it is about balance. Predators do not hunt out of malice. They hunt to survive, and in doing so, they prevent ecosystems from collapsing under unchecked population growth. Remove top predators, and the consequences ripple outward. Prey populations explode, vegetation disappears, and the land itself begins to degrade. Every link matters. Adaptation, nature's greatest weapon. Animals do not choose their habitats. They're shaped by them. Over countless generations, traits that offer even the smallest advantage are preserved. Camouflage, venom, speed, strength, intelligence. These are all answers to the same question. How do I survive here? But adaptation is slow.
In the constant
and the modern
struggle
world
for
is
survival,
changing fast.
a moment
Many
of stillness
species
can
now
mean the
face
difference
challenges they
between
did
life
not
and
evolve
death across
A
these
silent
varied
warning.
landscapes.
The kingdoms of the wild have existed long before humans appeared. They survived ice ages, mass extinctions, and planetary shifts. But today, a new force is rewriting the rules. When habitats disappear, animals do not simply move elsewhere. Their kingdoms collapse. Understanding these environments is not just about appreciating nature. It is about recognizing what is at stake. Because when the animal kingdoms fall, the balance that supports all life falls with them. Intelligence, emotions, and the inner lives of animals. For centuries, humans believed intelligence belonged to us alone. Animals were seen as creatures of instinct, living machines driven only by hunger, fear, and reproduction. But as science advanced and observation deepened, this belief began to collapse. Behind the eyes of animals lies a world far richer and more complex than we once imagined. A world of memory, emotion, communication, strategy, and even culture. This is the hidden side of the animal kingdom, the inner lives we are only beginning to understand. What is intelligence, really? Human intelligence is often measured by language, mathematics, or technology. But intelligence, in its purest form, is the ability to solve problems, adapt to change, and make decisions that improve survival. By this definition, intelligence appears throughout the animal world. Some animals use tools. Others plan ahead. Some remember faces for years, recognize
Faced with a
themselves
heavy
in
obstacle,
mirrors,
the
or more
meerkat
than
demonstrate
intelligence
remarkable
does not belong
persistence.
to one species. It takes many forms. Problem solvers of the wild. In the wild, every mistake can be fatal. Animals that solve problems efficiently gain a powerful advantage. Birds crack nuts by dropping them onto roads and waiting for cars to break the shells. Mammals learn to open gates, containers, and even complex locks. Some species observe others, learn from experience, and improve their techniques over time. These behaviors are not random. They reveal memory, learning, and innovation, key components of intelligence. Even more remarkable, different animal populations often develop different solutions to the same problem, depending on their environment. This suggests something extraordinary animals can invent. Tool use, a sign of thought. Tool use was once believed to be uniquely human. That illusion has been shattered. In nature, animals shape sticks into probes, use stones as hammers, and create shelters from available materials. These tools are not instinctive. They're learned, refined, and sometimes passed down through generations. Tool use requires understanding cause and effect. It demands foresight. An animal must recognize that an object can become an extension of its body, a sign of abstract thinking. In some species, young individuals spend years observing
Cornered on the
elders
bank,
perform
the
mastering
capybara's
skills.
best
This
defense
learning
is the
process
water.
resembles
It's an
education
intelligent
more than
strategy few
memory
predators can
and
overcome.
recognition. Many animals possess extraordinary memories. They remember food locations, migration routes, social hierarchies, and individual faces. Some species can recognize members of their group after years of separation. Others remember humans, both those who harmed them and those who helped. Memory in the animal world is not just about survival. It forms the foundation of social bonds. Relationships, trust, and cooperation all depend on remembering past interactions. Without memory, there's no society. Communication beyond sound. Human language relies heavily on words. Animals communicate in far more diverse ways. They use body posture, facial expressions, scent, vibration, color changes, and complex movement patterns. Some communicate across vast distances. Others convey precise emotional states. Fear, aggression, submission, affection. In many species, communication is layered. A single signal can carry multiple meanings depending on context. A sound might warn of danger, indicate location, or reinforce social bonds. Communication allows animals to coordinate hunts, protect offspring, and maintain group harmony. In the wild, silence can kill, but miscommunication can kill faster. Social intelligence and cooperation. Some animals live solitary lives. Others form societies so complex they rival early human communities. Group living demands advanced intelligence. Individuals must recognize roles, resolve conflicts, form alliances, and cooperate for mutual benefit. In tightly bonded groups, survival depends not on individual strength, but on unity. Cooperation increases company success, protects regular members, and allows knowledge to spread. But cooperation also creates tension. Hierarchies form. Dominance must be established. Balancing competition and cooperation requires constant social awareness. Animals navigate these challenges daily, with no written rules, no laws, and no leaders elected by God. Emotions in the animal world. Do animals feel emotions? The evidence says yes. Animals display joy, fear, anger, curiosity, grief, and affection. They form attachments, experience stress, and react to loss in ways that mirror human emotion. A mother separated from her young may search for days, calling out despite exhaustion. Members of a group may remain beside a fallen companion, refusing to leave. Some animals stop eating after losing a close bond. These behaviors cannot be explained by instinct alone. They reveal emotional depth. Emotion is not a weakness in nature. It is a survival tool. It strengthens bonds, motivates protection, and reinforces learning. The power of maternal love. Few forces in nature are as powerful as maternal instinct. Across species, mothers invest enormous energy in their offspring. They defend them against predators, teach them survival skills, and sacrifice their own safety for their young. Some mothers fast for months to feed newborns. Others carry injured offspring across dangerous terrain. In extreme cases, parents choose to stay with a dying young rather than save themselves. This devotion is not calculated, it is emotional. Maternal bonds represent one of the deepest emotional connections in the animal world. Play, learning disguised as joy. Play may seem pointless, but in nature, it is essential. Young animals chase, wrestle, and experiment with their environment. Through play, they learn coordination, social boundaries, and survival skills. Play strengthens muscles, sharpens reflexes, and teaches rules of interaction. It allows animals to practice danger in a safe context. Even adults play, especially in intelligent species. This suggests play is not just preparation for survival, but a source of mental stimulation and emotional well-being. Where play exists, curiosity exists. And where curiosity exists, intelligence follows. Culture in the animal kingdom. Culture is not exclusive to humans. In the wild, different groups of the same species often behave differently, even when living in similar environments. These differences are learned, not genetic. Some populations develop unique hunting techniques. Others use distinct communication signals or social rituals. These behaviors are passed down through observation and imitation. Culture allows animals to adapt faster than evolution alone would allow. Knowledge can spread within a single generation. When a knowledgeable individual dies, an entire group may lose critical survival information. Culture, once lost, can vanish forever. Self-awareness and consciousness. One of the most profound questions in science is whether animals are self-aware. Some species show signs of recognizing themselves as individuals. They respond differently to mirrors, understand their own bodies, and demonstrate awareness and perspective. Self-awareness allows an animal to understand its place in the world, to distinguish self from others. This ability is rare, but when it appears, it challenges our understanding of consciousness itself. Grief and mourning. Perhaps the most haunting evidence of animal emotion is grief. Animals react to death in ways that suggest understanding and loss. They may remain with the body, vocalize, or change behavior for extended periods. Grief strengthens social bonds by emphasizing the value of relationships. It also reveals that animals are not simply surviving, they are experiencing. The ethical question, as we uncover the emotional and intellectual lives of animals, a difficult question emerges. If animals can think, feel, remember, and suffer, what responsibility do humans hold toward them? This question does not demand that animals be treated as humans, but it does demand respect. Understanding animal intelligence does not weaken humanity. It humbles us, a mirror to ourselves. When we look into the animal world, we're not looking at something separate from us. We are looking at another expression of life, shaped by the same forces that shape humanity. Intelligence did not begin with humans. Emotion did not originate with us. Social bonds did not belong to us first. The animal world is not beneath us, it is beside us. And in recognizing their inner lives, we are forced to reconsider our own place in nature. Mysteries and unexplained abilities of animals. No matter how much humans study the natural world, it never fully reveals its secrets. For every question answered, new mysteries emerge, behaviors that defy logic, abilities that challenge science, and instincts that seem almost supernatural. Animals have survived for hundreds of millions of years, long before human technology, science, or written knowledge existed. In that vast stretch of time, evolution shaped not only bodies, but abilities that remain beyond our full understanding. This is the shadowed edge of biology, the realm where instinct blurs into mystery. The sixth sense, seeing what we cannot. Many animals appear to sense danger long before it becomes visible. They flee earthquakes before the ground shakes. They detect storms while the sky remains clear. They react to threats humans cannot yet perceive. Some scientists believe animals can sense subtle vibrations, pressure changes, or electromagnetic shifts. Others suggest chemical cues or ultra-low frequency sounds play a role. Yet even with modern instruments, humans struggle to replicate this sensitivity. To the animal, these signals are not mysterious. They are simply part of reality. Information flowing through senses humans never evolved to possess. Navigation without maps. Every year, animals travel across continents and oceans with astonishing precision. They navigate without GPS, compasses, or landmarks recognizable to humans. Some cross open seas with no visible reference points. Others return to the exact location where they were born after decades away. How do they do it? Research suggests animals may sense Earth's magnetic field, read the position of the sun and stars, or detect chemical signatures in the water and air. But no single explanation fully accounts for the accuracy of these journeys. Navigation in the animal world is not learned from maps. It is written into the nervous system itself. Magnetoreception, a hidden sense. One of the most fascinating discoveries in biology is magnetoreception, the ability to detect magnetic fields. Some animals appear to perceive Earth's magnetic field as naturally as humans perceive light or sound. This invisible map guides them across vast distances. Scientists have identified magnetically sensitive cells in certain species, but how these signals are processed by the brain remains unclear. What is certain is this: animals experience a layer of reality that humans do not. Timekeepers of nature. Animals often seem to know when to migrate, reproduce, hibernate, or prepare for scarcity. These decisions are not based on calendars. They're triggered by subtle environmental cues, changes in daylight length, temperature shifts, or chemical signals in plants. Some animals anticipate seasonal changes weeks in advance. Others synchronize behaviors across entire populations. Nature runs on an internal clock far older than human timekeeping, and animals are perfectly attuned to it. The mystery of collective behavior. One of the most mesmerizing sights in nature is collective movement. Thousands of birds turning in perfect unison. Schools of fish moving as a single organism. Insect swarms changing direction instantly without collision. There is no visible leader, no central command. Each individual follows simple rules, yet the result is breathtakingly complex. Scientists call this emergent behavior, but knowing the name does not explain the experience. How do individuals process information fast enough to avoid chaos? How does order emerge without instruction? The group becomes something greater than the sum of its parts. Communication beyond understanding. Some animal communication systems are so complex that scientists still struggle to decode them. Signals may change meaning depending on tone, speed, repetition, or context. A sound might warn of
Caution
danger
precedes
or
trust.
identify the type of threat. In some species, communication appears to include references to objects, locations, or even past events. These systems
Water
are not
begins to
linear.
ripple
They are
again.
structured, adaptive, and deeply
A sign
tied to
of
survival.
return.
Language, it seems, is not a human monopoly. It is simply expressed differently. Healing abilities and biological regeneration. Certain animals possess regenerative powers that seem almost miraculous. They can regrow lost limbs, repair damaged organs, and heal wounds without scarring. Some can survive injuries that would be fatal to humans. These abilities are not magic. They are biology operating at an extreme level of efficiency. Scientists study these creatures in hopes of unlocking medical breakthroughs, yet the full mechanisms remain elusive. Nature perfected regeneration long before modern medicine dreamed of it. Pain resistance and extreme survival. Some animals endure conditions that defy human limits. They survive freezing temperatures, extreme pressure, prolonged starvation, or oxygen deprivation. Their cells protect themselves in ways human cells cannot. In these creatures, survival is not about comfort, it is about resilience. Understanding these mechanisms could redefine how we approach medicine, aging, and survival itself. Animals that defy aging. A few species appear to escape the rules of aging entirely. They do not decline with time. They do not weaken in predictable ways. Instead, they maintain vitality until sudden death. Biologically, they challenge the assumption that aging is inevitable. Scientists debate whether true biological immortality exists, but these animals suggest aging may be more flexible than once believed. Premonition or pattern recognition. Stories abound of animals reacting before disasters. Earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. Are these premonitions, or is something else at work? Animals may detect subtle environmental changes long before humans notice them. What feels like foresight may simply be superior perception. Still, the timing and consistency of these behaviors remain unsettled. Animals do not predict the future, but they may read the present more accurately than we ever could. The unseen world. Humans experience only a narrow slice of reality. Our senses evolved for survival, not completeness. Animals remind us of this limitation. They hear frequencies we cannot, see wavelengths invisible to us, detect signals we barely understand. What we call mystery may simply be reality beyond our perception. When instinct looks like intelligence, some animal behaviors are so
Small
precise
plants
they appear
push
deliberate,
through recovering
almost
soil.
conscious. But instinct and intelligence
Life
are not
returns
opposites.
quietly.
Instinct is
Tweet.
intelligence refined by time. What took humans centuries of trial and error, nature encoded through evolution. In animals, instinct is memory, written not in books but in genes and neural pathways. The cost of losing mystery. As science advances, some mysteries will fade, others will deepen. But mystery
Water
itself
begins
has
to
value.
ripple again.
It reminds humanity of
A
humility.
sign
It
of
keeps
return.
curiosity alive. When we reduce animals to data alone, we risk losing wonder, and with it, respect. A warning hidden in mystery. Many of these unexplained abilities evolved in stable
Plants
environments
grow
over
more
long periods.
evenly.
When those environments disappear,
Balance
so do the
begins
abilities.
to form.
Extinction is not just a loss of species. It is the loss of knowledge humanity never fully understood. Each animal carries solutions to problems we may one day face. When they vanish, those solutions vanish with them. Standing at the edge of understanding. Animals are not primitive versions of humans. They're specialists, masters of survival in ways we may never fully grasp. Their mysteries do not diminish science. They expand it. The more we learn,
The
the clearer it
environment
becomes.
breathes again.
Nature is not simple. It is profound.
Rhythms
The final
reemerge.
question. If animals possess senses we lack, abilities we cannot replicate, and knowledge encoded over millions of years, then perhaps the greatest mystery is not what animals are capable of, but whether humanity is wise enough to listen. The future of the animal world, a choice for humanity. The future of the animal world is not written in stone. It is being written, right now, by human hands. For millions of years, animals adapted to ice ages, rising seas, shifting continents, and mass extinctions. Nature tested them relentlessly, and those who survived became masterpieces of evolution. But today, the greatest force shaping their fate is no longer climate or geology. It is us. Humanity has become a planetary power, capable of altering ecosystems faster than evolution can respond. And with that power comes a choice unlike any other in Earth's history. The age of acceleration. Change has always been part of nature, but never at this speed. Forests that took centuries to grow can disappear in days. Oceans that evolved over millions of years can alter in a single generation.
Animals move
Species
with
that survived
predictable rhythm.
countless natural disasters now
Stability
vanish without warning.
returns.
Animals are not failing to adapt. They are being denied the time to do so. Evolution is patient. Humanity is not. Extinction is not just a number. When a species disappears, something irreplaceable is lost. Not just a body, not just a name in a book. A unique way of seeing the world vanishes forever. A set of instincts refined over millions of years is erased. Solutions to problems we may never fully understand are gone before we even realize we needed them. Extinction is silent, but its consequences echo across generations. The domino effect of loss. Nature is not built in isolation. Every species is connected through invisible threads. Remove one, and others begin to fall. When predators vanish, prey populations explode. Vegetation collapses. Soil erodes. Water systems degrade. Entire landscapes change. What begins as the loss of wildlife eventually returns to humanity through food insecurity, climate instability, and ecological collapse. The animal world does not exist separate from us. It supports us even when we forget. The illusion of control. Humans often believe they can replace nature with technology. If pollinators decline, we will invent machines. If ecosystems fail, we will engineer solutions.
Lionesses
If species
avoid
vanish,
excess.
we will rebuild later.
Sufficiency
But nature is
over
not a machine
abundance.
with interchangeable parts. Its complexity cannot be fully replicated. Every artificial solution treats symptoms, not causes. The belief that we can control nature without consequences is one of humanity's most dangerous myths. Animals in a human world. As human civilization expands, animals are forced into shrinking spaces. Some adapt by living near
The
us.
environment
Others
appears
retreat.
whole
Many
again.
simply disappear. Those
Not
that survive
perfect,
often
but
live
alive.
altered lives, confined, fragmented, stressed. Their behaviors change. Their cultures vanish. Their survival becomes fragile. When animals lose their world, they do not just lose land, they lose identity. Conservation is not about the past. Protecting animals is often framed as saving something ancient or nostalgic. But conservation is not about preserving the past. It is about securing the future. Healthy ecosystems regulate climate, protect water, sustain food chains, and stabilize the planet. Animals are not optional. They are functional. To protect wildlife is to protect the systems that make human life possible. The power of small choices. The future of the animal world is shaped not only by governments or organizations,
Nature
but
continues
by individuals.
without
Every choice
explanation.
matters. What we consume, what we support, what we ignore. Small actions multiply. Awareness spreads. Demand shifts behavior. Behavior reshapes systems. No single person can save the animal world, but millions of